A beginning is a very delicate time. Know then that it is the year 10,191. The known universe is ruled by the Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV, my father. In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange. The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness. The spice is vital to space travel. Oh yes, I forgot to tell you. The spice exists on only one planet in the entire universe. A desolate, dry planet with vast deserts. The planet is Arrakis, also known as Dune. Father?
Irulan, you must leave.
My lord, the Reverend Mother is here. All entrance corridors and chambers have been cleared. We are dismissed.
Yes, he'll sense any surveillance. No eavesdropping of any kind.
The third stage guild navigator will be here within minutes.
We felt his presence.
I shall want telepathy during his visit and a report when we're finished.
I am your truthsayer, my lord. He's here, my lord.
Jezreth witch must leave.
Leave us.
Yes, my lord.
alone.
We have just folded space from Ix.
Yes? How was your journey?
Many machines on Ix. New machines.
Oh? Yes?
Better than those on Riches. You are transparent. I see many things. I see plans within plans. I see two great houses. House Atreides, House Harkonnen feuding. I see you behind it.
Yes.
You must share with us.
The Atreides house is building a secret army using a technique unknown to us, a technique involving sound. The Duke is becoming more popular in the Landsraad. He could threaten me. I have ordered House Atreides to occupy Arrakis, to mine the spice, thus replacing their enemies, the Harkonnens. House Atreides will not refuse because of the tremendous power they think they will gain. Then, at an appointed time, Baron Harkonnen will return to Arrakis and launch a sneak attack on House Atreides. I have promised the Baron 5 legions of my Sardaukar terror troops.
So the Harkonnens will rid you of House Atreides.
Yes.
Listen to me. The spice must flow. The spice has given me accelerated evolution for 4,000 years. It has enabled you to live 200. It gives the Bene Gesserit sisterhoods the metaphysical ability to see beyond. You have superior powers. Our power to fold space is in the spice. Without us, your empire would be lost. On isolated, scattered planets, you would be lost. One small point.
Here it comes.
We ourselves foresee a slight problem within the House Atreides. Paul Atreides.
You mean, of course, Duke Leto Atreides, his father?
I mean Paul Atreides. We want him killed. I did not say this. I am not here.
I understand. Why would they want the Duke's son killed? Well,
They fear that putting House Atreides on Arrakis will hurt spice production. For us, a small amount is enough to greatly extend our lives, but they consume tremendous quantities. A great deal is needed to evolve the seeing eye. They worry.
the universe worries when they worry. What else?
So much was unclear.
You may go, Helen Mohiam.
Yes, my lord.
She's Bene Gesserit. There's nowhere in the universe you can escape them. Her loyalty to the Sisterhood is stronger than her loyalty to me. Watch her carefully.
We must have a look at Paul Atreides on Caladan.
Here we are now, Caladan. And 19 light years beyond beneath lilacs.
The training planet of the Mentats, the human computers. Know a Mentat by his red-stained lips.
There, Arrakis.
Spice mining. Carryalls lower the harvester to the sand and lift it off to safety when a worm attacks. Worms attack all rhythmic vibrations. Weather. See storms. No precipitation.
Never one drop of rain on Arrakis. And the Harkonnens are near. There. Giedi Prime and the Baron Harkonnen. The enemy. I know, Thufir, I'm sitting with my back to the door. I heard you, Dr. Yueh, and Gurney coming down the hall.
Those sounds could be imitated.
I'd know the difference.
Yes. Perhaps he would with that.
My father sent you to test me. Music, then?
No music. I'm packing this for the crossing. Shield practice.
Shield practice? Gurney, we had practice this morning. I'm not in the mood.
Not in the mood. Mood's a thing for cattle and love play, not fighting.
I'm sorry, Gurney.
Not sorry enough.
What's wrong with Gurney? He's not making this.
Now, guard yourself for truth.
Is this what you seek?
God, the slow blade penetrates the shield. But, look down. We'd have joined each other in death. If it seemed finally to get the mood.
Would you really have drawn my blood?
If you'd have fought one whit below your abilities, I'd have given you a good scar to remind you.
Things have been so serious here lately.
Soon we leave for Arrakis. Arrakis is real. The Harkonnens are real.
Dr. Yueh, do you have any information on the worms of Arrakis?
I've obtained a film book of a small specimen, only 125 meters long.
Only?
There have been documented sightings of worms as large as 450 meters in the deep desert. That's far from where we'll be in Arrakeen. The desert belt and the South Polar region are marked forbidden.
How do the Fremen survive there?
We don't know much about the Fremen. They live in the deep desert, some of them in the cities. They have blue within blue eyes.
Oh, the eyes. Yes. Saturation of the blood by the spice melange. Could the spice affect us in other ways?
Many dangers exist on Arrakis. For one, the Harkonnens would not have given up their Chom Company contract so easily.
The Harkonnens are our enemies, yes. But behind them, I suspect, is the Emperor.
You'll make a formidable Duke. Now remember, the first step in avoiding a trap is knowing of its existence.
I know. But if it is a trap, then why are we going?
We have our new army. Dr. Yueh, put the weirding module on him. Unlock the room.
Detachment! Stand down!
Activate a fighter. Make the range 2 meters.
Size control.
Duncan!
Paul, I was just on my way to say goodbye to you. I have to go on ahead alone. I won't be seeing you for a while.
I wish you were coming with us. Why?
Something for your father. He wants to talk to you. I'll see you on Arrakis. May the hand of God be with you.
May the hand of God be with us all, Duncan. Father?
Thank you for joining me, Paul. Thufir Howard has served House Atreides 3 generations. He swears you are the finest student he has ever taught. Huey, Gurney, and Duncan say the same. Makes me feel very proud.
I want you to be proud of me.
I'll miss the sea. But a person needs new experiences. They jar something deep inside, allowing him to grow. Without change, something sleeps inside us and seldom awakens. The sleeper must awaken.
Arrakis. Dune. Desert planet.
I will kill you.
The second moon.
Tell me of your homeworld, Usul.
I know she has come to test him. No man has ever been tested with the box. Tonight, I may lose my son. Jessica, you were told to bear only daughters to the Atreides. Jessica!
It meant so much to him.
You thought only of a duke's desire for a son? Desires don't come into this. An Atreides daughter could have been wed to a Harkonnen heir and sealed the breach. We may lose both bloodlines now.
I vowed never to regret my decision. I'll pay for all my own mistakes.
And your son will pay with you.
Is Arrakis? Is it really so terrible on Arrakis? My Duke.
You entered into this with full knowledge of the delicate edge you walked. Jessica. Girl. I wish I could stand in your place and take your sufferings. But we must each of us take our own path.
I know. I understand.
About Paul. What you did and why you did it, we both know. But kindness forces me to tell you there is little chance you will beat the Bene Gesserit totality. However, I will observe him. In a few minutes, Jessica, your son will be proved to be a living human being, or he will be a dead animal. He's here.
Arrakis, Dune, desert planet. Moving. Moving.
We'll salvage what we can. But I can tell you, dear God,
For the Father, nothing.
For the Father, nothing.
Did you really think you could bear the Kwisatz Haderach? The universe's super being. How dare you?
my greatest student and my greatest disappointment. He's awake. He's listening to us. Good. Ready yourself, young Paul Atreides. I want to see you in your mother's chambers in 1/4 of an hour.
Paul, this is very important.
Kwisatz Haderach, the super being. For the Father, nothing.
This is the Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohim. She is going to observe you. Please.
Jessica, you know it must be done.
Your Reverence.
What does she fear? What about my father?
Paul, and do what she tells you.
No. You. Come here.
She's using the voice. No.
Some strength there. Surprising.
Come here.
Do you see this? Put your right hand in the box.
What's in the box?
Pain. Stop. Put your hand in the box. I hold at your neck, the Gom Jabbar. This one kills only animals.
Are you suggesting a Duke's son is an animal?
Let us say, I suggest you may be human. Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your instinct will be to remove your hand from the box. If you do so, you die. You will feel an itching there. Now, the itching becomes burning. Heat upon heat upon heat. Silence! Silence!
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. I must not
feel flesh.
I do feel a crispy. Death that brings total obliteration. I will face my
flesh. Dropping off.
Fear is the little death. I must not fear. Fear is the little death. The pain!
No! Enough! No woman, child, ever withstood that much. Take your hand out of the box and look at it. Young human. Do it. Pain by nerve induction. A human can resist any pain. Our test is crisis and observation.
I see the truth of it.
Could he be the one? Maybe. But will he be ours to control?
Tell me of your homeworld, Usul.
Do you know of the water of life? The bile from the newborn worms of Arrakis?
I have heard of it.
It is very dangerous. The Bene Gesserit Sisterhood use it to see within. There is a place terrifying to us, to women. It is said a man will come, the Kwisatz Haderach. He will go where we cannot. Many men have tried.
They tried and failed?
They tried and died. Jessica.
My son lives.
I sense your teachings in him. Ignore the regular order of training. His safety requires the voice.
I've heard enough of my safety. What about my father? I heard you talking. You speak as if he were dead. Well, he's not.
Paul.
Well, he's not. And he won't die. Tell me he won't die.
What can be done has been done.
Mother, tell me.
The voice could save you.
Mentat Piter de Vries. Message for Mentat Piter de Vries. The Baron is impatient for Leto's reply.
It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is by the juice of Safu that thoughts acquire speed, the lips acquire stains, the stains become a warning. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is by the juice of Safu that thoughts acquire speed, the lips acquire stains, the stains become a warning. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. My lord! Pida! The Atreides will be leaving Caladan soon, Baron, and I have here your answer from Duke Leto.
What does Leto say, Pida?
He wishes to inform you that vendetta, as he puts it using the ancient tongue, the art of Canley is still alive. He does not wish to meet or speak with you.
I made my peace gesture. The forms of Canley have been obeyed! Bring in Thade and Raban!
As you instructed me, I have enlightened your nephews concerning my plan.
My plan!
The plan. To crush the Atreides. Thade. Raban. Go quietly. No other great house of the Landsdraad must ever know of the Emperor's aid to the Baron. The entire Landsdraad would turn against the Baron and the Emperor.
Put the pick in there, Pete. And turn it round real neat. So beautiful, my Baron. Your skin, love to me. Your diseases, lovingly cared for all eternity.
I will have Arrakis back for myself! He who controls the spice controls the universe, and what Pida did not tell you is we have control of someone who is very close to Duke Leto. This person, this traitor, will be worth more to us than 10 legions of Sardaukar!
And who is this traitor?
I won't tell you who the traitor is or when we'll attack. However, the Duke will die before these eyes, and he'll know that it is I, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, who encompasses his doom!
This is what I'll do to the Duke and his family.
I once told you a daughter would be conceived at a time of parting.
I remember. Conceived in love at a time of parting. Arrakis is a hostile world, though.
I must be sure you want this. It has to be tonight. Under these influences. I didn't hear. You with the wind.
I whispered yes.
And I whispered, I love you. Oh, Miss Caladan, so much.
Caladan. Soon they'll begin to fold space.
Far off in the control rooms of Spice Gas, traveling without moving.
And now, the prophecy. One will come, the voice from the outer world, bringing the holy war, the Shihad, which will cleanse the universe and bring us out of darkness. The sun.
The Fremen have sent a message to you, sire.
Have you read this?
No, I was instructed it was for you.
It says, column of smoke by day, pillar of fire by night.
A warning.
An obscure one at best. What have you discovered about the Fremen, Duncan? Tell me. Why haven't we heard from you?
My lord, I suspect so much. I think they are the allies we seek. They are strong, fierce. They do not give their loyalty easily or quickly. As you know,
The Imperium has never been able to take a census of the Fremen. Everyone thinks that there are but few wandering here and there in the desert. My lord, I suspect an incredible secret has been kept on this planet. That the Fremen exist in vast numbers. Vast. And it is they who control Arrakis.
Each trooper will be charged with responsibility for preserving water. Our existence as an operating army depends on these following water-saving procedures. Remember, water is life.
Why is the shield not yet up?
Sir, we've found and removed another sabotage device. I think it'll go up now, sir.
Prospecting rehabilitation. We're finding sabotage devices too easily.
House shield activating.
Milady, the local people, the maids and servants await your inspection. Hawat has cleared them.
Excuse me, milady. The Harkonnens may have tampered with them medically.
When you said Harkonnens, I didn't know you had so much reason to hate them.
My wife. But of course you didn't know my wife. The Hark...
Forgive me. They must have killed her.
Please excuse me if I can't talk about it.
He's holding something back. Yet, there's the Imperial conditioning. Assurance of trust.
The Bene Gesserit mother. The legend. Where is your son? I must warn you, you are in great danger.
My message, it's here.
There are more enemy bodies coming in for your inspection, Dr. Yueh. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Thupper.
Spice.
The sleeper must awaken.
Am I the one? A hunter-seeker. It can't get me if I don't move. It's too dark in here for it to see clearly. Got to try to grab it. The suspensor field will make it slippery on the bottom. I must grip it tightly. Who is operating that thing? It has to be someone in the palace. I could shout for help, but it would kill whoever opened the door.
It's what have killed me.
I was its target. He went to the motion. Who are you?
I am the Shadowed Mapes, the housekeeper. I must cleanse the way between us. You saved my life, and we Fremen pay our debts.
A Fremen?
It is known to us that you've a traitor in your midst. Who it is, we cannot say, but we are certain of it.
A traitor.
Set up a sonar probe immediately.
Thofir? Did you find anything?
Nothing yet.
Keep looking.
And the traitor. God help us.
My lord. Again, my lord, I wish to tender my resignation.
Silent, Thofir. Stop acting the fool I told you yesterday.
If you made a mistake, it wasn't overestimating the Harkonnens.
Their simple minds came up with a simple trick. Paul survived this largely because of your training. You didn't fail there. Sit down, Thofir.
My lord.
Thofir, there's this traitor. I know you have cleared everyone, especially those close to us. But recheck and find him. They've tried to take the life of my son.
Sector 6 through 80, progress report, sir.
Take it, Thufir.
Sector 6, 80, copy the 6th, the sun of the 8th, the quadrant of the 9th, plus 84 circles, weave the 8 and call the 4th, copy. Eight, Thufir Hawat, Mentat, Master of Assassins. The palace is now secure. The city of Arakeen is under martial law. We have troops here, headquartered underground in subfloor 6 through 10. The rest of the troops are stationed in Arakeen, and we have some on the airfield. Our new army is still in training, but everything is shielded. And with this shielding, we are impenetrable. Kynes. Dr. Kynes is waiting. He is the Emperor's judge of the change, monitoring the evacuation of the Harkonnens and our taking control. He plans taking you on an inspection of the spice mining operation. Now, he may, or may not, be sympathetic to our cause. But, sire, with the attempt on the young master, I am against your leaving the palace.
The attempt failed. Harkonnen captives have already been taken. We must crush the Harkonnen machine on Arrakis. You all know what to do.
Gurney. We desperately need more spice miners. Many are threatening to leave on the next shuttle. We need spice drivers, weather scanners, dune men, any with open scent experience. You must persuade them to enlist with us.
They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind. And they will gather the captivity of the sand.
Very moving, Gurney. On your way. And take care of Dr. Kynes until Paul and I arrive. We will not be prisoners here in this place.
Behold, as a wild ass in the desert, go I forth to my work.
Yes?
I am the Shadet Mapes, your housekeeper, Nobleborn. What are your orders?
You may refer to me as my lady. I'm not noble-born. I'm the bound concubine of Duke Leto, mother of the heir designate. Shut out. That's an ancient word.
You know the ancient tongue.
I know many things. I knew you came prepared for violence with a weapon in your bodice.
My lady, the weapon was sent as a gift if you should prove to be the one.
And the means of my death, should I prove otherwise.
Oh, my lady, when one has lived with prophecy for so long, the moment of revelation is a shock.
Duke Leto is now here. Spice mining inspection to start immediately.
So you are Dr. Kynes, the judge of the change.
And the Imperial ecologists, sire?
Our intelligence informs us that there's still a strong Harkonnen presence.
The process of removal continues.
This is my son, Paul.
Are you a Fremen?
I've been on Arrakis in the service of the Emperor long enough for my eyes to change.
In the service of the Emperor?
We are in your hands, Doctor. Your gift of the still suits is much appreciated. Would you give us an explanation of their workings?
Well, this is a still suit of Fremen manufacture. The most efficient type on Arrakis. Basically...
It's all right, Gurney.
Yes, sir. Basically, it's a high-efficiency filter and heat exchange system. Perspiration passes through the first layer and is gathered in the second, where salt is separated. Breathing and walking provide the pumping action. The reclaimed water circulates to catch pockets, from which you can drink through this tube at your neck. Urine and feces are processed in the thigh pads. Should you be in the open desert, remember to breathe in through your mouth and out through this nose tube. With a Fremen suit in good working condition, life can be sustained for weeks, even in the deep desert, sire.
My thanks.
With your permission. You've worn a still suit before.
No.
Your suit is fitted desert fashion. Who told you how to do that?
No one. It seemed the proper way.
That it is. He shall know your ways as if born to them.
We're wasting time, sire.
Airspeed 05. Ambient temperature 300 degrees Kelvin. Airspeed 20. Ether bender 75% efficiency.
That's where I told your Sandmaster to concentrate the harvesting today. Southeast, over the shield wall.
Ambient temperature 350 degrees Kelvin. Airspeed 130. Caution. You've now cleared protective shield wall and entered open desert.
Will we see a worm?
Where there's spice and spice mining, there are always worms.
Always.
Always.
Where do they come?
To protect their territory. Vibrations attract them.
He must be a Fremen, or in with them. He's studying us. He's hiding something about the spice. Is there a relationship between the worms and the spice?
As I said, they defend the spice sands. As to their relationship with the spice, who knows?
Dust cloud ahead, sire.
That's it. Spice mining. No other cloud quite like it. See the spotters over it? They're watching for worm sign, the telltale sand waves. Seismic probes on the surface too, sire. Worms can travel too deep for their waves to show. Looks like a good patch of spice.
Worm sign. Is it worm sign?
Yes, worm. Big one. You've got sharp eyes. May I? Calling Harvester Pad 9. Worm sign.
Who calls Pad 9?
Don't mention the Duke. This is an uncoded channel.
Unlisted flight northeast of you. Worm sign on intercept course. Estimated contact, 15 minutes.
Have sighting confirmed. Stand by for fix. Contact in 16 minutes minus. Very precise estimate. Who's on that unlisted flight?
What happens now?
Well, the carryall will come and lift off the spice harvester. Try to get in close over the harvester. You'll find this interesting. They'll work until the very last minute.
Spotter control. There's no sign of the carryall. It isn't answering.
The worm is 8 minutes away, sire.
Spotter control, give me a report by the numbers. Report 1.
No contact.
Report 2.
Negative.
Report 3.
Negative, sire.
Report 4.
No contact. Repeat, no contact.
I think they've got our carryall.
Damn it. Harkonnens. We are coming down to take you off the harvester. All spotters are ordered to comply.
Ordered by whom?
Duke Leto Atreides.
Yes. Yes, sire.
How many men do you have?
Full crew, 26 men. But, sire, we can't leave all this spice.
Damn the spice. Get out of there.
Too many leads of the spotters! You over here! Run! Run!
I can't see him yet, but he's very close now.
Damn sloppy. Really damn sloppy. Come on, boys. Come on! We're gonna be heavy, sire.
Spice. Pure, unrefined spice.
Here he is! We've got to go! Bless the Maker in his water. Bless the coming and going of him. May his passing cleanse the world.
What's that you're saying?
Nothing. Gods, what a monster!
Someone is going to pay for this, I promise.
He's more concerned over his men than the spice. I must admit, against all better judgment, I like this Duke.
Dr. Kynes, being in the employ of the Emperor, as you are, perhaps it isn't wise for you to associate too closely with us Atreides.
On the contrary, I feel very comfortable here.
Remember how precious water is here. That was a token of respect.
Are you enlisting with us?
You see through to the truth of a thing, sire.
That means a dual alliance. He's in with the Emperor.
A dual alliance? Yes. But not with the Emperor.
The Fremen.
Then let water be a bond between us.
The Baron Harkonnen has sworn to destroy House Atreides and steal the ducal signet ring for himself.
Sorry you have to sleep so far underground. But we can't take any chances. I see you're studying.
Knowledge is strength.
Yes, so said Thufir Howard. One must have more than that to hold Arrakis against our many enemies. Much more. Much more. If anything should happen to me.
Father, nothing is going to happen.
Yes. But if it should, Yes?
Unknown objects on screen. We are attempting to identify.
I'll be back, son. Sleep well, my son.
Father, drugged.
Jessica, what is wrong? Forgive me, my beloved concubine. I should have married you. Why hold a dream to ascend to the throne through a political marriage? I should have married you. What happened? Yui, he sabotaged the house generators. We are wide open.
House shield deactivating.
I've destroyed the new army's weirding modules. I've brought House Atreides down.
Why?
I wish to kill a man. Not you, my dear Duke. You were already dead. But you'll get close to the Baron before you die. You'll be tied and drugged, but you can still attack. You can still attack. When you see the Baron, you'll have a new poison gas tooth. He'll want you close so he can gloat over you. One bite on this tooth, and a strong exhale.
Refuse.
No, you mustn't. Because in return, I'll save the lives of your Paul and Jessica. For Paul.
Oh.
When you see the Baron, remember the tooth. The tooth. The tooth.
The shield is down. The shield is down.
Open the doors.
Signals! Get that shield up! The shield! The shield!
Destroyed.
The drug was timed. Dr. Yui has been very valuable to us. What a pity. You must remain gagged. We can't let ourselves be swayed by your witch's voice now, can we?
Leto, where are you? How simple to subdue us.
Goodbye, Jessica. And goodbye to your sweet son. I want to spit once on your head. Just some spittle in your face. What a luxury. We were ordered to kill them, so kill them.
I wish this was Paul. I knew Yui's wife. I was the one who broke his imperial conditioning. I thought of many pleasures with you. It is perhaps better that you die in the innards of a worm.
What are your orders, Piter?
Take them to the desert, as the traitor suggested. The worms will destroy the evidence. Their bodies must never be found.
They're down on this floor somewhere. Down there.
Now to join your wife? Is that it, traitor? She lives. You wish to join her? Join her. You think you've defeated me? You think I don't know what I gained from my wife? Take her away.
You his son. He's left us still suits.
Don't touch my mother.
He's trying the voice. The Reverend Mother said it could save him.
Did you hear a noise from the little one?
Huh? I didn't hear anything.
The little one.
We move her dead.
Excellent.
There's no need to fight her from me.
The poison's laid.
First, cut my son's bonds.
Leto Atreides. Where is the ducal signet ring? I must have his ring.
Ring. He was brought to us as is, my Lord Baron.
You killed the doctor too soon, you fool.
The doctor. Huey. What did he say? Paul and Jessica safe. Yes, the tooth.
He's coming around, Baron.
Where's your ring? Huh? You do not answer?
Wait. Wait. You must come closer. The water of my life. For Paul.
He's crying. He's crying! What does that mean, Peter?
Come closer, Baron. Jessica.
Leto. Leto, he's dead! No, he's dead!
I know.
Am I alive? I'm alive?
Yes. You're alive, my Baron.
I'm alive, huh? I'm alive! I'm
I can't maintain any altitude. We'll never reach the safety of rock. Maybe that small rock.
Where are we, do you think?
South Polar regions. The forbidden area. Hold on. Hurry!
Take the still suits!
Hurry! This crash might bring a worm. The signet.
1,000,000 deaths are not enough for you.
Where are my feelings? I feel for no one. The second moon.
I need Paul Atreides. We want him killed.
Why? Why do they want me killed? It has to be something to do with the spice. But what?
He who controls the spice controls the universe.
This moon holds my future. Never one drop of rain on Arrakis.
The sleeper must awaken.
They will call me Listen to me. Listen. You wanted to know about my dreams. Well, I've just had a waking dream. Do you know why? The spice. It's in everything here.
Calm yourself.
Like the truth-sayer drug. It's poison. You knew the spice would change me. But thanks to your teachings, it's changing my consciousness. I see it. I can see it.
Is he the one?
You carry my unborn sister in your womb.
He knows.
Father!
Father, I promise one day the sleeper will awaken, and I will avenge your death. I will not stop until I destroy the Emperor and the Baron.
Father.
Go now. Take him to his desert to die. Go.
Yui's left the plan for the weirding modules. We have to get to that mountain of rock. We have entered the time when all will turn against us and seek our lives. It's further than I thought! A worm is sure to come.
I'm ready.
Thumper.
The worm. Spice. Is there a relationship?
What happened? Why did it leave?
Someone started a Thumper. We're not alone.
Carved steps.
Yes.
Such stealth. I didn't hear them.
Perhaps these are the ones the Shadat Mapes told us of. I will take the boy man. He shall have sanctuary in my tribe.
No! Get back! She has the weirding way. Great gods. If you can do this to the strongest of us, you're worth 10 times your weight of water. As the leader of my people, I give you my bond. Teach us this weirding way, and you both shall have sanctuary. Your water shall mingle with our water.
Then I will teach you our way of battle. I give you the word bond of a Bene Gesserit.
It is the legend.
I am Chani, daughter of Liet. I would not have permitted you to harm my tribe.
From my dreams. So beautiful.
Come with me, I'll show you an easier way down.
He surprised me. It was an accident. Still, God, I invoke the Almtau rule.
But Jamis, you forced this fight. These people have my countenance. If you should win, I will cut you down.
Jamis, I don't want to fight you. Maybe if I explain.
Explain? Explain death. I am going to sheathe my knife in your blood.
No shields. I'm used to shield fighting.
Take my Chris knife. Jamis turns to the right with his knife after a parry. And watch for a knife switch.
May thy knife chip and shatter.
You have strength. You shall be known as Usul, which is the strength of the base of the pillar. This is your secret name in our troop, but you must choose the name of manhood, which we will call you openly.
What do you call the mouse shadow in the second moon?
We call that one Muad'Dib.
Could I be known as Paul Muad'Dib?
You are Paul Muad'Dib, and your mother shall be a Sayyidina among us. We welcome you.
A dream unfolds.
And now, the prophecy. One will come, the voice from the outer world, bringing the holy war, the jihad, which will cleanse the universe and bring us out of darkness.
The wife and sons of Jamas. This water belongs to Usul. May he guard it for the tribe. May he be generous with it in time of need.
Jamas carried 33 liters and 7 3/32 drachmas. Do you accept them?
Yes.
Watermasters!
Moisture.
Wind traps. Huge ones. Water. Millions of decaliters. A treasure.
Greater than treasure, Usul. We have thousands of such caches. And only a few of us know them all. And when we have enough, we shall change the face of Arrakis.
Tell me of your homeworld, Usul.
Tell me of your homeworld, Usul.
What is it?
Liet, Chani's father, and the leader of our people, is dead. Killed by the Harkonnen.
For the father, nothing.
Both of us have lost our fathers.
We're knee deep in Atreides' blood! We've got them! We've got them! Raman! Raman! I place you in charge of Arrakis. It's yours to squeeze, as I promised. I want you to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze! Give me spice! Drive them into utter submission. Do not show the slightest pity or mercy. Never stop. Go! Go! Show no mercy!
Fade. And when we've crushed these people enough, I'll send you, Fade. Lovely Fade.
Where's my doctor?
Jessica, our Reverend Mother is too old. She has been calling through space and time for you to come and let her rest. She asks that you pass within and become our Reverend Mother.
If you be a Reverend Mother, let Shai-Hulud judge now.
The water of life. But what of my unborn child?
One day I will have to do this. Every man who has tried has died. Am I the one?
The sleeper must awaken.
Fade. Even though he's aging, Thuf is one of the finest mentats in the universe. And he's mine, Fade. All mine. Quiet now.
I will.
Come. Oh, Thufa! I see they've installed your heart plug already. Don't be angry, everyone gets one here. But this is not why we're here. We brought you a little cat, Thufa. You must care for it if you wish to live. A poison has been introduced into your body, Thufa Hawaz. By milking this smooth little cat body, you receive your antidote. It must be done each day.
All I can see is an Atreides that I want to kill.
Fade. No, no. Thufa's a Harkonnen now. Aren't you, Thufa?
My Duke, how I failed you. Johnny, I love you. I've always loved you. The Holy Warriors. No one ever dreamed there were so many.
I am Usul. Paul Muad'Dib. Our shared enemy, the Harkonnens, are once again in control of Arrakis. Stilgar, your leader, has asked me and my mother to teach you the Weirding Way, to crush the Harkonnens. We must do more than this. We must totally destroy all spice production on Arrakis. The Guild and the entire universe depends on spice. He who can destroy a thing controls a thing. I will take 100 of your warriors and train them. This 100 will train the thousands that remain. When the spice flow stops, all eyes will turn to Arrakis. The Baron and the Emperor himself will be forced to deal with us. Arrakis will become the center of the universe.
Arato. This obelisk is of your hardest stone. Kick it. Hit it. Yell at it.
Break!
Corbin, cut it.
Move back. This is part of the Weirding Way that we will teach you. Some thoughts have a certain sound, that being the equivalent to a form. Through sound and motion, you will be able to paralyze nerves, shatter bones, set fires, suffocate an enemy, or burst his organs. We will kill until no Harkonnen breathes Arakeen air. Stilgar.
Muad'Dib.
My name is a killing word. They are ready to fight, yet in order to lead them, I must conquer the worm, conquer Shai-Hulud.
Usul, it is time you become a Sand Rider and travel as a Fremen. Take the Kiswamaker hook of our siege and ride as a leader of men. Two thumpers are planted. The worm may not surface for the first. He will rise for the second. Now remember, when the worm approaches, you must be utterly still and close enough to plant the hook firmly under a ring segment. The worm will turn to lift this exposed area as far from the abrasive sand as possible, and it will take you with it to the top. Do not get too close. As he approaches, the sand will engulf you. Wait till the head of the worm passes, then go quickly. Shai-Hulud.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Only the very strong ones travel this deep.
Usul has called a big one. Again, it is the legend.
Now we are ready for battle.
Usul, these are 15 of our finest warriors to serve you as your guard. The Fedaykin.
Now.
When the spice flow stops, all eyes will turn to Arrakis. The Baron and the Emperor himself will be forced to deal with us.
Muad'Dib. What happened? What happened to you and your men? Muad'Dib. What are you saying? Muad'Dib. You're saying? Muad'Dib.
He's been repeating that name ever since we found him.
Who is this Muad'Dib?
In the 2 standard years that followed, Muad'Dib and the Fremen brought spice production to a standstill. Fearing for his life, Rabban did his best to hide this fact from his uncle, the Baron. Paul's sister Alia matured at a frightening rate. Her small body harbored tremendous powers. Paul and Chani's love grew.
Surprise the band of smugglers! Too bad, I thought they were Harkonnen!
Gurney! You've no need of your weapons with me, Gurney Halleck.
Paul!
Paul, don't you trust your own eyes?
They said you were dead! They said...
Do you know the water of life? Come watch. The mystery of mysteries. The end and the beginning.
water of life. The water of life.
Emperor Shaddam IV, you have one last chance to take matters into your own hands and bring the situation under control on Arrakis.
What do you mean, one last?
Do not speak. Listen. You do not have more than this one chance. I represent the entire guild in this matter. Our navigators warn you that spice production is in great danger. The new Fremen leader Muad'Dib has stopped spice mining on Arrakis. Our navigators suggest he is not of Arrakis. No one on the outside world has been able to see him. We do not know who he is. The Harkonnens cannot stop him. Remedy this situation, restore spice production, or you will live out your life in a pain amplifier. The Emperor will stop him. He won't take the water of life.
That's why they want me killed. They're afraid I'll take the water of life.
I want 50 Legion of Sardaukar on Arrakis at once.
50 legions? That's our entire reserves as well.
This is genocide. The deliberate and systematic destruction of all life on Arrakis.
The Emperor's coming.
Johnny! You were calling my name. It frightened me.
Oh, Johnny. All the images of my future are gone. I have to drink the water of life.
No, Paul, please. I've seen the men who have tried. I've seen how they die.
I'm dead to everyone unless I try to become what I may be. Only the water of life will free what can save us. I must drink the sacred water. We must go now. Hurry. All I see is darkness.
Paul, I will love you forever. You are my life. You are my life.
Many men have tried.
They tried and failed?
They tried and died.
The worm is the spice. The spice is the worm.
attacking? Why?
It's Paul. He's taken the water of life.
There is a place terrifying to us, to women.
This is the place they cannot look. Traveling without moving.
Now I truly control the worm and the spice.
And I have the power to destroy the spice forever!
Paul. Paul. Paul.
Father! Father! The sleeper has awakened!
Arrakis. Dune. Desert planet.
Your time has come.
A storm is coming. Our storm. And when it arrives, it will shake the universe.
Emperor! We come for you!
We will set down on the pyramid's landing facility.
Long live the fighters!
Occupying the main control room.
Gurney, when the storm hits, set off the atomics. I want an opening through the entire shield wall. Stilgar, do we have worm sign?
Usul, we have worm sign, the likes of which even God has never seen.
Bring in that floating fat man, the Baron. Why have you brought me here?
Your Highness, there must be some mistake. I never requested your presence.
Ah, but your lack of action demanded it. Your dreadful mismanagement, your bad judgment in assigning to Raban the governorship. You forced me to come here and set things straight personally. And why did you not tell me of the fighting ability of these people? We have just flushed out a nest of them in the open desert, and the women and children overpowered some of our Sardaukar. We managed only one hostage. Bring in the hostage. Only one.
I am a messenger from Muad'Dib. Poor Emperor. I'm afraid my brother won't be very pleased with you.
Silence!
Kill this child. She's an abomination. Kill her.
Get out of my mind!
Not until you tell them both who I really am.
Alia, daughter of Duke Leto the Just and the royal Lady Jessica, sister of Paul Muad'Dib.
Paul's sister. Paul is Muad'Dib.
Alia keeps pace with the storm.
With a storm, their air power will be useless. On Arrakis, it's desert power.
Gurney? Now! Atomics!
is coming with many Fremen warriors.
Impossible!
Not impossible. I told you he is here now.
Father, today I will avenge your death.
Emperor, an impassable storm has descended. The shield wall has been penetrated by atomics.
Release the Sardaukar. Baron, give this little abomination to the storm.
Wait for my brother, Baron. Wait for my brother.
Alia, now.
Come to me, Baron.
am I? Gurney, I see Thufir Hawat among the captives. Let him stand free.
The antidote.
Thufir. Come.
A knife. In payment of the many years of service to my family, you may now ask of me anything you wish. Anything at all. Do you need my life, old friend? It is yours. I mean this, Thufir. If you are to strike, do it now. Carry this noble Atreides warrior away. Do him all honor.
Emperor Shaddam IV. There are guild highliners above us containing many great houses of the Landsrad. Send them back.
How dare you speak to me in that...
You're speaking.
You have some idea of what I could do. Don't try your powers on me. Try looking into that place where you dare not look. You'll find me there staring back at you.
You mustn't speak!
I remember your Gom Jabbar. Now you'll remember mine. I can kill with a word.
And his word shall carry death eternal to those who stand against the righteous.
The righteous!
There is a Harkonnen among you. Give the Harkonnen a blade, and let him stand forth.
If Fade wishes, he can meet you with my blade in his hand.
I wish it.
This is a Harkonnen animal. Let me, please, my lord.
The Emperor's blade.
Why prolong the inevitable? I will kill you! I will kill him! I will kill him! Who is the little one? Her pet, perhaps? Will she deserve my special attentions? you see your death, my blade will finish you.
I will bend like a reed in the wind.
Muad'Dib. Usul no longer needs the wielding module.
Muad'Dib had become the hand of God, fulfilling the Fremen prophecy. Where there was war, Muad'Dib would now bring peace. Where there was hatred, Muad'Dib would bring love, to lead the people to true freedom and to change the face of Arrakis.
We Fremen have a saying. God created Arrakis to train the faithful. One cannot go against the word of God.
And how can this be?